Tarantula!
What's up, everybody out there in YouTube land? Rat2501 here with the other half of Double Feature Friday, the Warhammer half. Alright, so this is another thing from Commissar Gamza, and this is why people exaggerate Warhammer 40K. You have been lied to. Okay, this just seemed interesting. I know it's probably going to trigger some people, but that just makes it hilarious for me. Anyway, so let's see what he's got here, and go.
Hello there, everybody. Welcome to this
cool
video. So today I've got another interesting one for you here
What the hell is that thing?
This is going to be why people exaggerate Warhammer 40K. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump off into this.
Fans do
why
that
does
for
there
anything?
seem to be a bit of a divide on how powerful things
Maybe
are in Warhammer 40K?
Karn level?
Specifically when I make, let's say, versus videos, or when
already a
you and your
stretch.
friends begin to discuss things like maybe Star Wars
He's
versus
experienced
Warhammer
Space
40K.
Marine.
I think we've all met resistance.
Dude.
Now, resistance is
Not
not
living
bad.
beings, it says
It's the
cannot be
type of
killed, destroyed,
resistance
or
that you
erased.
meet
Oh,
that matters.
God.
Now, let me share with you a little bit of my experience. I have been in Warhammer 40K since 3rd edition, so that's basically a little over 20 years, probably older than some of the people even watching this video right now. If you guys didn't know, I'm 69 years old, and I'm loving every second of it.
What
but
the
anyways,
fuck?
with all these new additions that have come down the line and all the years that I've played Warhammer 40K, I've seen the ebb and flow of Games Workshop. I've seen the highlights, I've seen the downfalls, I have met and interacted with new players that are into the game. I've taught them how to play. I've even met people who've been in the Warhammer 40K scene longer than I have, and it's quite interesting to learn things from them that I've never experienced, like Rogue Trader, 2nd edition, stuff like that. Now, why exactly am I bringing this up? Because this brings us to point number one in my personal experience as to why people exaggerate Warhammer 40K. It comes from your friends, specifically them trying to get you into Warhammer 40K, or you could be this friend that's trying to get your friends into Warhammer 40K. Now let me explain this a little bit more in depth because I have seen this dozens of times throughout the years. So imagine this, you don't know anything about Warhammer 40K. Maybe you've heard a couple of things here and there, but you've never given it a second look. Then your friend comes up to you one day and starts telling you about Warhammer 40K and how great it is, how crazy and over the top this sci-fi universe is. Maybe you ask a couple of questions. That's cool. What can you tell me about the Space Marines? Then your friend gets all excited. His eyes light up. Oh, dude, let me tell you about Space Marines. These guys are like 10 feet tall, genetically enhanced super warriors. They've got like 4 lungs. They've got like 5 hearts. These guys don't go down. It's almost impossible to kill them. And they wear something that's called power armor, which is bulletproof. They basically can't die. They're like these super soldiers. A single Space Marine could like take over the Earth. Alright, now some of you guys might be laughing or smiling to yourself going, come on Gamza, like you think this is where all the exaggerations come from? Not entirely, but I will tell you this from personal experience, which of course doesn't mean that that's the experience that's shared across the world. But throughout the years, it's been a reoccurring theme. This happens very often. It's someone who reads a little bit about the lore and they get things wrong or they intentionally exaggerate it, trying to excite their friend to get them into Warhammer 40K. And sometimes this will work. Their friend gets into Warhammer 40K or he starts asking more questions like, what about Master Chief versus a Space Marine? And then the friend keeps going on with this going, oh dude, come on. Master Chief isn't as tall as a Space Marine, which means the Space Marine automatically wins. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's faster. A Master Chief is like a basic Imperial Guardsman in the terms of Warhammer 40K. And I'm telling you guys, I have seen this so many times around real life events in tournaments, teaching people how to play in Warhammer 40K, just hanging out at the hobby store. This happens all the time. There's no way that I can be the only guy that has witnessed this. For you guys out there that are experienced in Warhammer 40K, that have actually gone to these tournaments, that have done events, please leave a comment down below and let me know some of the stories that you have seen when it comes to people trying to exaggerate or excite their friends and get them into Warhammer 40K.
I got into
they
debates
begin
with
to just
people
kind of go
online
overboard with some of the things that they're saying. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't see these people as like, you're the enemy and how dare you exaggerate Warhammer 40K or anything else like that. These are just people who mean well. They're trying to get their friends into Warhammer 40K, but their exaggerations don't help in the long run. These are short-term goals to excite a friend to get them in there. Now, I want to go ahead and jump off into the second point, and this is going to be not understanding hyperbole and the Warhammer 40K codices. Now, for those of you who are not entirely familiar with what a codex is for Warhammer 40K, these are small books that are designed to teach you about a specific faction in the Warhammer 40K tabletop game. It explains the lore and it also explains the rules. Now hear me out on this one. Let's say that we're going to talk about a Space Marine Terminator versus Goku from Dragon Ball Z. And I tell you that Terminators are nearly invincible. They don't back down to anything, and almost nothing can survive the onslaught of a Terminator. You're trying to explain to me how Goku can blow up planets like it was nothing, and I tell you, you don't seem to understand. Terminators are basically invincible. Sounds a little whack, right? But let me read you something directly from the Space Marine Codex. Terminators are truly amongst the greatest heroes of mankind. Bold warriors in whom the indefatigable heroism of a space marine is combined with the terrible weaponry and indomitable mass of tactical dreadnought armor. No foe is safe from a Terminator assault. Not a horde of orcs, nor a tyrannid biomonstrosity, or a chaos titan. Terminators are nearly invincible, unstoppable, and they never yield. Now for Buttermilk Bob, that's some of the most poetic lore they have ever read. For Commissar Gamza, that's some interesting marketing. Now who am I to say that this is marketing and to dismiss this as simply hyperbole? I'll tell you why. It's 2 points. Number one, this entire point of the codex is to tell you that your army is epic. Your army is cool, and to get you to buy more models. Why on earth would you read this? Let's talk about the truth here. If they said the Terminators are truly amongst the greatest heroes of mankind, and they're heavily armored, but gene stealers turn them into, you know, ribbons very quickly, they just slice them apart like it was nothing, would you want to buy Terminators at that point? Of course not.
No,
however, that's exactly what happens in the stories. When you open up a book and you start reading stories about Terminators, they might, on their introduction, it's kind of like the hero's entrance, they might prove to be, you know, really strong, or they blast a bunch of enemies apart, and then as the story goes along, they run into some gene stealers and they're just sliced apart like it was nothing. And once I read stories like this, that's how I'm able to tell that this is written in hyperbole, that this is never really represented in the lore. The Terminators are not seen as these basically invincible type warriors that nothing can stop their onslaught, and they yield to nothing, and that they're indomitable.
Well,
so
yielding
if
to
I
nothing
say
doesn't
that
make you invincible.
Goku would incinerate an entire chapter's worth of Terminators in a blink of an eye because he can blow up planets like it was nothing. Is that me saying that Terminators are useless and weak? Of course not. It's just saying that the threat that they're currently up against is far above them. And no, they are not nearly invincible. Okay, so for my last point, this is likely going to be the more controversial part. That is echo chambers and going along to get along. I have noticed that amongst the Warhammer 40K community, it seems to be a bit of an echo chamber and a lot of going along to get along. Exactly. This is, you don't want to poke the bee now.
This is
if everybody kind of agrees that Warhammer 40K is the most overpowered sci-fi universe in existence and that nothing can really beat it and that it always wins, a lot of people will harp up on that. They want to play along with that because they're looking to be accepted. They don't want to be rejected from a group. Now, I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm gonna say it anyways because we all know the YouTube crowd in general. I am not saying that just because a YouTube channel out there disagrees with me that therefore it's somehow part of this echo chamber that is just going along to get along. That's not what I'm saying. There are signs that you can tell if you're dealing with this type of channel or not. It isn't 100% proof, but it's simply evidence, and that is this. They tend to never criticize Warhammer 40K, and they tend to hype up everything that is released from them. From animations, to models, to comics, to books, to events, so on and so forth. You'll notice that they never seem to criticize anything that Games Workshop has to do, and they always want to play up Warhammer like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life, oh yeah! Again, why do you think somebody would do this? Number one is because they don't want to provoke any backlash. And I gotta be honest with you, I understand why. You're running a YouTube channel, you're making money from it, and you don't want to turn off your audience that you've currently built up. Gamza just has a bit of a different philosophy, and that is, I'm going to give you the truth to the best of my ability. You see, what Buttermilk Bob doesn't understand is Gamza is actually his best friend, because Gamza is the man who's always respected him enough to tell him the truth. If I was a fake person and all I cared about was somebody's acceptance, then I would stroke your ego. I would lie to you. I would stretch the truth just so I can be accepted by you. But that's not me. You see, I'm the friend that tells you the truth even when you don't want to hear it, which means I'm your real friend.
So let's all get along and hold hands. Oh
No.
Okay,
Let's
anyways,
get along
I'm
and
just saying
punch
here
each other
is
in
that
the
be on the
face.
lookout for things like this, because I've always seen it as a level of deception that I don't appreciate. You don't have to hype things up for me. You don't have to become like this shill for Games Workshop to get me excited. I can decide that on my own. Now, to wrap this up, I'm going to end it with this. A lot of second-hand stories and theories without people reading the books is also what adds a lot to this blurriness when it comes to the lore. Now, I want to go ahead and move off into the final segment here, and this is going to be theories, secondhand stories, and not reading the books is the main culprit of a lot of this. People watch lore videos, which is nothing wrong with that, but they take that as almost like the gospel truth. Read it for yourself, my good boys. Go save up like $5, $10, $15 and go buy a used book, or go to the bookstore and get something for yourself. Or you can even go on Audible and get some audiobooks for yourself. I think it's going to be quite enjoyable for you to actually explore the Warhammer 40K universe firsthand. Not somebody who clicked record on his computer program, cracked open a codex, read through it verbatim, and then you're listening to it on YouTube going, wow, I guess Terminators are nearly invincible and nothing survives.
You wanted to learn about lore, go
and
to
that's why Commissar
Voldemort's,
Gamza is an
channel.
idiot. He doesn't understand the lore. He must hate Warhammer 40K.
Oh, there we go. So, that was why people exaggerate Warhammer 40K. You have been lied to. The thing is, though, I'm not saying that they're... The thing is, people understand that you're not saying they're weak. It's just that, compared to some things, they just don't compare, Some things are just literally on par with them. But you've always got those friggin' neckbeards and those crazies. No, you can't survive the Warhammer 40K universe. Nothing survives the Warhammer 40K universe. Not even my virginity, thanks to Slanesh. That kind of shit, man. That's literally people. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Just a little bit of holding up a mirror to everybody who goes off about their... It's not just Warhammer, it's any kind of fandom. You see that people about Dragon Ball Z saying Goku is invincible, like I always say that Goku would kick the shit out of Superman. Yeah, because I'm not going by, the hype on either one of them. And I hear everybody was like, no, Superman is a god. But they take, every version of Superman that has ever fucking existed and put him into one Superman. What the fuck? Anyway... So I get in a lot of debates about that. So anyway, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to like this video and sub. And of course, click on the link to the original down in the description. Get down to Commissar's channel and give him a like in the original and sub to him. I will see you guys next time. Tune in every day for new content. Bye-bye.